It is Monday, April 12th, 2021, and you are tuned into Dirt Tracker Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. Today we're talking Outlaws in Indiana, late models at Bristol, midgets at Port City, and more, so let's jump in. We got both Indiana shows in over the weekend for the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series after it looked like we might only get the one. The weather played nice on Saturday at Hobstadt, and we were treated to a thriller. More on that in a minute. Looking back on the weekend, though, there are a couple of big takeaways, and the biggest might be the shakeup in the points. A dismal weekend for Logan Schuchart has shuffled the top five, with Sheldon Haudenschild now second in the standings at 92 points behind Brad Sweet, with David Gravel third, Carson Macedo up to fourth, and Logan all the way back to fifth from second. Logan had gone 14 straight races with a top 10 finish with the Outlaws, but over the weekend had finishes of 22nd and 19th. On Friday night at Kokomo, he was forced to the work area with an issue in the feature and didn't recover. And Saturday night, he just didn't have the pace. He was 13th in his qualifying group, finished 7th in the first heat, and was forced to run the night's B-main. But instead of transferring in through the B-main like you might have expected, Schuchart pulled off late in that race and needed a provisional to start the night's feature. He then went 25th to 19th. Kokomo was a bit surprising as Schuchart finished third there in 2020, but Hobstadt hasn't been a great track for the 1S. In his last 5 starts there, Schuchart has only 2 top 10 finishes. The other driver whose struggles continued was Donnie Schatz. Schatz only made it 2 laps on Friday night at Kokomo before he was out of the race with a trail of fluid from the car. And Saturday night at Hobstadt, he had to come from the B-main and finish 16th. He now has 5 straight finishes outside the top 10 and is still seeking career win 300. He's now gone 20 races without an Outlaw win. As for the good stuff, it was a fantastic weekend for James McFadden. On Friday night, he took advantage of lap traffic to grab the lead from David Gravel on lap 11 and drove away to the Kokomo win. It was his first win of 2021, and it only took him 6 starts to find victory lane. Sweet, Justin Peck, Ian Madsen, and Sheldon Haudenschild rounded out the top 5. It was a nice recovery from Sheldon, who won the night's B-main and then hard charged his way from 21st to 5th. On Saturday night at Tri-State in Hobstadt, we saw an absolute barn burner of a feature. We had 5 lead changes among 5 drivers, with the win coming on a last lap pass. Aaron Reitzel, Tyler Courtney, Sheldon Haudenschild, Carson Macedo, and James McFadden all led laps. Sheldon looked to be the class of the field, taking the lead from Courtney on lap 24, but under a yellow on lap 34 for a tipped over Robert Ballou. He took the 17 to the work area with a flat tire. He later ended up 14th. That gave the lead to Carson Macedo, and the battle for the win was on between he and Friday's winner, James McFadden. McFadden attempted several sliders in the closing laps, finally taking the lead, coming to the white. But Macedo immediately crossed him back over into turn 1, with the 2 even making contact on corner entry. The contact broke McFadden's momentum, and Macedo was able to drive away to his second win of 2021. McFadden, Courtney, Hunter Schoenberg, and Aaron Reitzel rounded out the top 5. With the win and the second, McFadden now has 4 top 5s and 6 top 10s in 7 starts. He's up to 16th in the standings and trails Reitzel by 324 points for that top rookie spot. Performances like this weekend show that he can compete with the Outlaws, and if he'd have been in the States to start, he could have been a serious threat in 2021. With the aforementioned issues for Schuchart, Brad Sweet has extended his points lead to 92 now with 13 races complete. A 2nd and 7th on the weekend were very steady for him and the KKR 49. As I've said before, Sweet's competition might be in serious trouble here. The Outlaws are back Friday and Saturday night at Lawton Speedway in Oklahoma and Devil's Bowl in Texas. The World of Outlaws Late Model Series was in Bristol this weekend for their turn on the dirt. We've talked a bunch about the struggles for the full-time Outlaw guys this season, and that continued on Friday and Sunday, with non-Outlaw regulars winning the 2 races. On Friday night, Jimmy Owens led the first 16 laps from the pole, but lost a tire under green, which ended his night and unfortunately took out series points leader Kyle Strickler as well. Owens finished 23rd and Strickler 24th. The issues for Owens handed the lead to Josh Richards in the Boyer 14, and he led the rest of the way for the $10,000 win. Chris Madden, Brandon Shepard, Rick Eckert, and Brandon Overton rounded out the top 5. Cade Dillard had another rough night, hitting the wall and finishing 22nd, and Ricky Weiss had multiple issues and finished 16th. The late models looked so fast around Bristol. I actually tweeted about that this morning, and the speeds definitely contributed to some mechanical problems. Saturday's program at Bristol was lost to rain, so the weekend's finale was run yesterday afternoon. After a heat race win, Ricky Weiss drew the pole for the feature, but his team did need to change a rear end before the 40-lap race got underway. Once green, Weiss was quickly to the lead. He controlled much of the feature, but as the laps wound down, his car started to go away a bit, and Devin Moran was on the move behind him. Coming to 10 laps to go, Moran was able to slip past Weiss for the lead in lap traffic right at the flag stand, and he drove away to the $25,000 win. Weiss held off Ross Bales for second, with Ricky Thornton Jr. fourth and Brandon Overton fifth. It was Moran's second Outlaw win of 2021, which ties him for the most this season. We might be seeing Moran rising here with these Outlaw wins to go along with his current second place standing with Lucas. Leaving the weekend, a third and a 13th from Brandon Sheppard was good enough to see him take control of the points, with Strickler now second, 20 points back. The driver to pay attention to right now just might be Chris Madden, though. He's got 3 straight top 6 finishes and is suddenly third in the points, 60 back of Sheppard. He looks strong at Bristol and already has a win this season, which Sheppard can't say for himself. The Outlaws are off now until April 23rd when they take on Richmond Raceway in Kentucky. The DIRTRACKR UMP Modifieds joined the Outlaws at Bristol for 2 of their own races. On Friday night, it was David Stremme who led all 20 laps en route to the $5,000 win over Kyle Hammer, Ryan Ayers, Nick Hoffman, and Dylan Woodling. And Saturday, Kyle Strickler jumped out of his late model and into his modified and promptly led all 20 laps to take the $10,000 weekend finale. Kyle Hammer, Chris Arnold, Ryan Ayers, and David Rudeman completed the top 5. Friday's winner, David Stremme, was caught up in a crash and finished 24th. In Oklahoma over the weekend, the USAC Midgets had their weekend affected by weather, but they still got both nights in of the T-Town Midget Showdown at Port City. On Saturday night, points leader Buddy Kofoid started way back in 16th, but that didn't matter. He drove through the field and seized the lead on lap 29, leading the rest of the way for the win over Brian Carber, Thomas Meserol, Jason McDougall, and Justin Grant. Logan Seavey led the first 27 laps, but he had mechanical issues and surrendered the lead to head to the work area. He finished 21st. The other story people were talking about from Saturday was the bad slider from T-Mez that wiped out Ryan Timms. 12 laps in, with Timms running second, T-Mez threw a slider into turn 3 that never had a chance of clearing Timms' 84. The two made big contact, with Timms then ending up turned over and out of the race. It was a tough way to exit for the youngster racing for Chad Boat. In his post-race interview, T-Mez was not apologetic for the incident, telling Christy Bemis, quote, "That's midget racing, and that you, quote, you just throw sliders, slide or die." The move and the interview certainly generated a wide variety of social media reaction with folks on both sides. T-Mez did later apologize on Twitter for the incident. I don't have a problem with the initial contact. T-Mez races hard, which is why people like him. And in this case, he just messed up. But the interview post-race, I think, was pretty sucky. T-Mez is also liked because of his honesty in interviews, which I also appreciate. But at least own up to the bad move you made. You threw a reckless slider at a young driver trying to take advantage of his inexperience, and it just ended badly. Just say that and move on. If you would have done that, this would have been a complete non-issue. But instead, with the interview and all of this stuff that happened after, you kind of create this social media thing, and it's just pointless, I think. Over to Sunday, Tanner Thorson took his new Reinbold Underwood Motorsports ride to victory, grabbing the lead from Sam Johnson on lap 13 and leading the rest of the way. Justin Grant, Ethan Mitchell, Chris Windham, and Logan Seavey rounded out the top 5. Leaving the weekend now, Buddy Kofoid is now in sole possession of the points lead, with T-Mez, Tanner Thorson, Justin Grant, and Chris Windham the rest of the top 5. The USAC Midgets are back in a few weeks at Kokomo. Looking at other weekend winners, Stuart Friesen won the Super Dirt Car Series opener at Can-Am Speedway over Tim Fuller and Larry White. Brandon Spithaller won the 410 show at Attica. Matt Westphal was the non-wing winner at Kokomo with the Outlaws. Bud Kading grabbed a 360 win at Ocean. Ryan Bernal and Mitchell Moles grabbed USAC West Coast Sprint Car and Midget wins at Colorado Speedway. DJ Neto won the 410 show at Keller. Tim Schaefer won at Lincoln, Justin Sanders at Placerville, and Anthony Macri at Port Royal. Kudos to Danny Dietrich for pulling the double at Lincoln and Port. He finished 4th at Port, packed the trailer, and got to Lincoln at 10 minutes before his heat. He then finished 11th in that feature. In weekend late model action, Brian Shirley won at Lincoln in the Fall Nationals makeup. Greg Satterley won at Sealands Grove, and Dustin Mitchell won at Lakeview. To see more from the weekend, visit tjslideways.com and dirtondirt.com. The only thing on the streaming schedule today is Flow Racing 24/7. To see the full daily streaming schedule with links to watch, visit DIRTRACKR.com/watch tonight. That's it for the show today. Hope everybody has a good Monday. If you have thoughts about the topics on today's show, leave them in the comments below or tweet at me. You can find Dirt Tracker Daily where you get podcasts, plus YouTube and Facebook. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe and leave a review. You can email the show at info@dirttracker.com. I do check those every single day. You can follow Dirt Tracker on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Dirt Tracker. And you can check out the website for all kinds of cool dirt racing stuff by visiting dirttracker.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for more Dirt Tracker Daily.